air outside is so foggy. There must be a fire somewhere. Cody, what are we doing today?
We are cleaning. We are going to review some cleaning products, and we would hopefully give you some tips.
Don't forget to subscribe. And now on to the video. Okay, the directions say, let's see if it's focusing in on the directions. It says to spray and leave on for 10 minutes, so I'm going to spray the walls, and we will be back for me to wipe it dry. I'm actually curious to see what it's going to do in this area. See if it's going to get that, and to see if it's going to get my grout wider, which on camera my grout does not look that yellow. It's just slightly yellow. And I'm grateful that it can spray far away, because I'm worried that the hydrogen peroxide is going to bleach my clothes. I'm a little weird about it, so. Let's get that spot that's really gross that was underneath the thing that hangs from the shower. One thing I'm noticing about it is I guess it is starting to go down. I don't feel like it coats very well. Like, I feel like it requires a lot more than just an all-purpose cleaner that's a little bit more watery. Okay, we're gonna leave it for 10 minutes and we'll be back. There are some water spots that are left over in the sink, so I just sprayed the bottom of it to see if it will get rid of those. Okay, it hasn't quite been 10 minutes yet, but it's starting to dry, and the instructions said not to let it dry. I have a scrub brush because I want to really get into the grout, and let's see what it can do. I am going to get it wet too, even though the instructions say you don't have to. Okay guys, so this has been nasty since we moved in. Whoever lived here before cleaned the house with Comment or Ajax, and I have never been able to get this stuff out. This is the best product I've ever used. This is the cleanest I've ever seen this. I may get more, let it sit for 10 minutes and come back to see if it actually works. Okay, while we let that sit, I'm gonna work on this area that is kind of nasty. So it dries super fast, and it says that you're not supposed to let it dry. So that is one concern I have with it, because I don't think you can let it sit for 10 minutes. Okay, I'm going to go over it with a wet rag, just a damp rag, even though it says you don't have to use water to rinse it off. Because it dried so quickly, I feel like I need to dampen it so it doesn't leave streaks. Here's a helpful tip. Because I have long nails, you can see, when I am cleaning tile with grout, I will put the towel around my fingers and use my nails with the rag over it and go back and forth in the areas that just need a little extra help. Or you can actually just use your finger with the rag over it and push in to the grout a little bit harder. And it just kind of goes in and gets it a little bit cleaner. So let's dry it. I mean, I like the way it looks. It's looking very shiny. Okay, I don't mind it. It really looks like the tile itself almost looks brand new after using it, but this area doesn't get a lot of water deposits. It's this wall right here. And this area is going to be whether or not I like it. But before I wipe down the rest of the shower, let's see if putting a second coat onto this will get rid of that black stuff. Let's see. Fingers crossed, people. Fingers crossed. And just so you guys know, we have tried almost everything, even a pumice stone, and it will not get this off. Okay, it's not getting it off, but it is really clean compared to what it was before I scrubbed on it. So I like it that way. Okay, for this area, which you guys won't be able to tell, I will be able to feel. This usually has a buildup of soap scum. And let's see, what I think. I'm going over first with the wet rag, even though the instructions say not to. I just feel like for my sake, because I'm gonna go over it with a wet rag and then a dry rag. So dry rag time. Let's see how I feel. We'll give it the hand touch and I'll tell you what I think. Okay. Let's see. I mean, no, not a lot of soap buildup. I don't mind it. Now it's time to just finish the rest of the shower and then move on to the bathtub and the sink. And for those you can see the dark around, we need to remove the caulk and put new caulking around. So don't judge me. We will do that. And maybe we'll do a video on it. But the dark around the outside is from caulking. Moisture's gotten behind it. But time to spray the bathtub and see what we think about the bathtub. Bathtub's pretty gross because my feet are dirty. But let's get it sprayed down, let it sit. And while that's sitting, because I feel like it's been enough time for the sink, if not too long, let's go check out the sink and see what I think there. Okay, I have a sponge because again, I want to get it wet. And there were some water spots. I had sprayed with a good enzyme cleaner and wiped my whole countertop down. And then I noticed some water spots around this area, which might not be picked up on camera, but I can give you my opinion whether or not they are gone. Okay, and since I put water on the sponge, I'm just gonna wipe with a dry rag. I like that I feel like it makes things shiny. Like when, your porcelain and stuff in the bathrooms, when they're shiny, they look almost brand new. Or they look, they're not aged, is what I'm trying to say. You know what? What you're getting glares in there, if you're able to see that and that's just glare of the light. But I'm not seeing any water spots, so it did remove the water spots. Okay, now that it's been sitting, I'm just gonna use a sponge and we're gonna scrub it out and see what we think. Okay, I'm gonna rinse it with water. I don't have the energy today to clean, you guys, but it must be done. Okay, so the ring I was talking about, it is so rough right around this area, and it's because somebody cleaned the sink with something abrasive. My assumption is Ajax or Comet, and what that does is your porcelain has a protected coating over it, and what happens when you use that, it takes that off. And so you're left with a porous porcelain where things are going to get sucked in and soaked into it. Before you say anything, when we purchased our home, we knew it was going to be a fixer-upper. Unfortunately, my medical issues put a stop to that. So now that I'm better and we are finally cancer-free, it's time to start hopefully working on the remainder parts of the house that we need to fix up. Okay, and because I'm not too concerned about the countertop with this, I am only going to be doing the sink. And so let's spray it. Look at that foam. Look at that foam. And yes, this broke too. So I have something to hold it up so the water just doesn't go straight down. Yeah, listen. My house needs to be fixed. I get it. But I'm doing a lot. Because I hate scrubbing the sink. So, okay. I'm going to rinse my hand off in the bathtub and we'll be back. See, in a couple minutes after it's had some time to sit. I'm not waiting 10 minutes because in the shower it dried too quickly, but I am going to give it time to sit and coat it. So we'll be back. So because I have a nice sink that's not a flat bottom, everything is, all this liquid is going right down. So I'm just gonna take the sponge to just try to get it to stay in the area I want it to stay in to work its magic. And that's the thing that people need to understand is most cleaning products are designed to help break down dirt, grease, and grime. So if you let it sit, it's going to do its job so you don't have to scrub as hard. Unfortunately, I have to scrub hard at this. We're letting it sit. We're letting it do its job like cleaning products are meant to. Anyways, let's scrub. Okay. So I get it that you guys can't feel what I'm feeling. Let's see if the sponge will pick up. So right here is a soft spot that's not... Can you hear the difference? And then as I go down, just barely, that is the rough spot. Can you hear the difference on the sponge? And I'm using the same pressure as I go up and down. So there, right there for you guys is proof why Cody and I would never use Comet or Ajax. It is so destructive to your surfaces. And I cannot wait till I get a new counter sink till I don't have to worry about it anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna rinse it out. Even though this is not what the instructions said to do, I feel better doing it with this. I'm gonna be honest, you guys, I don't like the smell. I'm a lemon person when it comes to cleaning products. I love lemon smells when it comes to cleaning products. I mean, it is getting the dirt and grease that gets stuck on these and makes your sink stink really well. I'm actually really kind of impressed. Oh, that just squirted everywhere. Oh, nope. Okay, I'm gonna dry it off. We're gonna look at it. Can you hear the difference? Rough, soft. That is what Comet or Ajax does to your surfaces, guys. I know, I'm up on a pedestal. I'm on my soapbox right now. Okay, should we see if Cody's willing to use it?
Hell no.
Stay tuned.
Absolutely not. My turn. I'm going to start here in this grout. It's where I feel like the shower needs it the most. And then also in the grout in the corner, which I'll show in a second. Then in this corner. I am going to take a sponge and a brush just to kind of even out the product, let it sit. Then we'll come back to that in 10 minutes and see how it did. There's also some yellow here in the corner. So we'll let it sit in this corner as well. Gonna kind of spread it out though. And we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Also, I used to work for another cleaning company, not gonna name it. I used to use Ecolab, which was a hydrogen peroxide based cleaner. And that's actually what they use in hospitals. That's a really effective cleaner, and so seeing that this has hydrogen peroxide in it makes me very happy. And then you also know my stance on bleach, so the fact that there's no bleach in this at all, I feel like this is a win. Oh, hydrogen peroxide is also really, really, really effective against mold and mildew. So if that's something you've got an issue in your house with, this is going to be one of the best options for you. I'm going to also spray down the sink too and let that sit so that once I go back to the shower, it's ready for me. Then I'm just going to take this sponge like I did in the shower and just kind of spread it around. Again, I don't want to scrub because the point of this is to see how the product does by itself. I'm just spreading around the product to make sure it's on every part of the surface. and we'll be back in 10 minutes. Okay, I'm back in the shower. My knee's cracking. I'm an old man. So I've just gotten this rag a little wet. Just water. I know it didn't say that in the instructions, but I'm just gonna wipe it down. It did take the yellow out. I don't know if you could see it in the video, but there was some yellow in here. Then in this corner, I think it did really good in that corner. Let's see how it did over here. Yep, it took all that yellow that was there out. I feel like that was super effective. In fact, I should have just done it on the entire shower. In fact, I am going to do it on the entire shower. I'll be back. Then back to the sink. Did a pretty dang good job. Okay, I've done the whole shower with it. Upon review of smelling it for so long, it is overpowering. The smell gets to you a little bit. I do think though that the shower looks super clean, so it did its job.
Okay, before we start with our afterthoughts of it, I actually really like Lysol products. I use the Lysol all-purpose cleaner. I have for many, many years. I like the Lysol disinfectant wipes. I like the Lysol spray. So this has no bearing upon Lysol itself. In fact, when I was undergoing radiation,
The doctor.
in fact, my radiologist, because of where my cancer was at, if you're interested to know, we will do a video at a later date, and I'll go in more to my cancer. It is a very rare type of cancer, but the radiologist told me to put Lysol, the all-purpose cleaner, in my bathtub and soak in it. So for those of you, or the one person who says that Cody and I don't care about our health, I had a medically trained doctor tell me it was okay to soak myself in Lysol. Okay, so not only did we give you some cleaning tips along the way, you can watch us clean, but we also cleaned for the first time, and I know that this isn't a brand new cleaning product, but with the Lysol hydrogen peroxide bathroom cleaner. I didn't like the smell. Some of the things I didn't like about it. Did you like the smell of it?
I think at the end I mentioned it. It's overpowering.
It is. It does. It kind of sounds like a CLR type.
It's very
chemical.
strong, and
There.
so
He mentioned in the video he loves it because it doesn't have bleach, and we have talked about bleach, and we're going to talk about it again. Bleach is bad for your surfaces because you know what it does? It breaks down the protectant coating on your surfaces, along with some of the other stuff I talked about in the video. I thought it was really, really funny as I was editing the video that both Cody and I had the same problem where it dried quicker than it was supposed to.
I expected it to. Any product that requires it to sit for a long time, it's gonna dry. You're gonna have to use water to re-engage it. And also, what I didn't like about it is that it doesn't spread out. Go for it.
The instructions actually say to apply it and leave visibly wet for 10 minutes. And
So that means they're assuming that you're going to be having to re-wet it, I would assume.
Or
keep spraying it.
Yeah, maybe, you know what, and it could be it's really hot here in Utah and the heat. But the house we were at yesterday, or Monday.
Regardless.
Yeah, okay, regardless.
It needs to stay wet. But
it needs to stay wet. And that was one thing I noticed. It didn't coat very well.
Like, it doesn't spray, it doesn't do a wide spray. It's like a very heavy, like, what's it called?
Concentrated.
Stream. It's a stream rather than a mist. And so, I don't know, I felt like I had to go over it and spread it out. Make sure that it's even all over the surfaces.
That's one thing that, like, if you were on like a glass or a shower where it's gonna straight up and down, it will eventually drain down to the bottom. I feel like it was really good on water spots, so this may be good for your water spots on your shower door.
But hear me out. I just don't know if it's a really good product. It works, but how much of it's the product that's doing it, or the fact that we're using a brush or a sponge on how much of it is just having to do muscle work on it?
It could be, because I feel like other than the water spa in my sink, I feel like it didn't take much more off. But I do love that it has hydrogen peroxide,
Which is disinfecting. It's going to be one of the best disinfectants, this hydrogen peroxide.
I don't think I would ever buy it again.
I wouldn't go out of my way to use it.
No.
But it did work.
Like, this is a need only, and it is only for your bathroom. And
it was fun to try.
And what were you saying? It's not physically, or you were saying it's like for us cleaning multiple houses and going through a lot of cleaners.
Oh, yeah.
It's not financially
It's not fiscally
smart.
Yeah, because I'd rather buy a diluted product that I can add to water. That goes a long way. And especially because I do use brushes and sponges, I don't need a fancy cleaner to do that work. Does that make sense?
It does. And that's the thing is there was a part where I was cleaning like the grout in the shower, and I didn't know if it was because of the cleaner or the scrub brush or both. Who knows?
I know hydrogen peroxide is really good on like the pink mold or mildew. It does work, but
it's true. They say that bleach, actually, when you use bleach on, like, say you have mold on your walls, that the bleach actually, I've read that it makes the spurs, and bleach actually makes the mold spread faster and further. That's what I've read. I don't know. I haven't done a lot of research into it, but I did like it. I mean, I don't think I'd ever buy it again.
It was fun to try.
Yes.
And if you like using it, I can see why.
Mm-hmm. There were ups and downs to it. But, you know, if you're anything like Cody and I, when we go to, like, any store, we always go to the cleaning products, and we always think, ooh, I wonder how this works.
You know you're old when the cleaning aisle makes you happy.
That's so true. So if there is a cleaning product you're curious about that you would like us to try, leave us a comment, and we would love to do a video on it. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing day.
See ya.
Bye.